Good morning, good morning, good morning again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. So I'm going to be digging in to that place I just told you about, that hospital in the UK, obviously a little bit later today. I do want to get these videos out of the way first because I am probably going to be an emotional train wreck after doing that. But I do want to mention there are reasons why people come to me, people come to Lyric, people come to actually Autistic Twitter to let us know about these types of things. And that is because we long time fought for visibility, to put eyeballs on the JRC. And these people have reached out to us as individuals in similar desperate situations in places all over the world. And the list just keeps getting longer. We have become an international rights movement. But the thing is, we're not listened to very often, are we? We gotta have outside help, people. We gotta have outside help. We cannot carry this on our shoulders alone and be able to make the changes necessary so that places like this hospital, like JRC, like Agape, like Kanakuk, the list literally goes on, folks, by ourselves. We gotta have outside help. And the only time the media seems to care is when there's outcry outside of our community. So when we reach out to you, it is not to whine, it is not to complain. We are trying to save these kids. Get involved. Now to the disclaimers. In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center does not want you to read. It was written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, they have refused, so you know the drill. Please read that article and share it on all your social media. Also linked in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. Also linked in there is the Ozark First article in regards to the Agape boarding school, now known as Stone for Help boarding school. This is a so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that has impending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and they do include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor still on the premises with full access to the boys, up on multiple, again, substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You can have an attorney general too busy chasing after drag queens to do his job and protect kids against the proven pedophiles of this state. And you've got an actual governor that commit him. Just commit him already. I don't know what's going on with him, but it's not good, folks. It's not good. All right? Share that on all your social media. We got the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 2002 ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org shut the Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, all right? This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity on occasion, and we do talk on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised. Trigger warning, we are about to once again descend into the mad ravings of the lunatic mind known as Dr. Matthew Israel. You're going to hear gaslighting, victim blaming, pseudoscience, lies, all coming from a man with a massive ego and even larger God complex. So, folks, be prepared for the arrogant amount of stupid we are about to read, all right? All right, here we go. JRC is not an open facility, but a closed institution where children are transported from JRC owned and operated residences to the JRC school in shackles. Students were observed as they arrived and departed from the school after all were restrained in some manner. This was backed up, by the way, by the New York State Department on Special Education. You know, the one that says JRC's like, it's just not true. They just would have went on the guided tour. Nobody has time for your propaganda bullshit. Okay? JRC? We good? Good. Thank you. I'm tired of listening to it. Or reading it. Sorry for the curse words, folks. I am actually trying. JRC is not a locked facility. The students live in beautiful single-family residences or apartments located in several towns in southeastern Massachusetts. Some, not all, students at the direction of clinicians in accordance with their IEP and the permission of the state agency sponsoring the students are transported to and from JRC in transportation restraints for reasons of safety only. Really? I seem to remember at one point in time you mentioned that you put kids in restraints because they were busy opening the doors, rolling out, and running like hell. Jennifer Masumba mentions one of these times in her blog. Now, Doctor, why would you feel the need to? But it's for their own safety. I think those kids were running for their safety. I feel like they were trying to escape you mad people. I think they were running towards society, which is the real safety, as opposed to, you. Now, once again, Shin, he's going to hit us over the head with IEP. Glad you mentioned that, Doctor, because New York had a lot to say about how you follow, or in this case, actually don't follow the IEPs that are set up by the school districts of the kids that are being sent to your hellhole. New York actually stated you do not follow these IEPs at all, and in fact, ignore the IEPs that tell you that under no circumstances are you allowed to put them on the GED. You ignore them, you get your court order. You have IEPs where you are told that you are not allowed to put them on the food contingent program, and you do it anyway. You, in fact, have been found lackluster in your transition services, which are not being carried out as specified by the districts in the school IEPs. You pick and choose what you do out of each of the individual IEPs, don't you, Doctor? You can sit there and tell me it's for their own safety all you want to, but in actuality, folks, one of the main reasons they put these kids on those restraints is because those kids who are put in them are known to run whenever and as soon as they get the opportunity to do so. They are being bound in these buses so that they don't run. And who could blame them for running? Not me. Not anyone with a half a heart. Let's continue. Massachusetts state regulations provide for use of transportation restraint for students who are at risk of engaging in behaviors during transport that could endanger the lives of the passengers or others on the road. Here the fuck we go again. I'm sorry I let it slip. I'm sorry, but mother God. Remember in one of my previous videos when I talked about how these people love to use behaviors as an excuse to the insanities that they get up to when it comes to us? Allow me to elaborate. I used this example in a previous video, but say, for example, I get into a heated argument and I end up shouting. Do they call that shouting and getting heated? No, they call that a behavior. They will put that on my record. And then they will come up with bizarre things, kind of like Dr. Matthew Israel does, to stop me from the behavior and then treat me better behaviors. I see you, doctor. You do not get to get away with your atrocities by beating people over the head with medical model terminology, okay? We all know what it's actually pseudo for. Please spare us, all right? And again, you are once again telling me, but the Massachusetts court says. The Massachusetts court said it was okay to hang so-called witches, doctor. Maybe try another defense, because that one's not that great, and it's got a very dark history behind it. Seriously? Many forms of transportation restraint are commercially available and used by special education programs across the country to help keep special needs students safe during transport. Okay, as a person in the service system, doctor, can we talk about these restraints for a minute? You want to know what's used? Cloth jackets, seatbelts. You want to know what's not used? Handcuffs, belts, metal implements, due to the harm it can physically do to the individual being restrained. Hospitals, admitting individuals who are known to be prone to violent outbursts. You see where I'm going with, right? They don't use belts, doctor. That is not what the general rest of the United States consider proper and safe restraints. Are you kidding me right now? Let's read the rest of this, shall we? This is an accusation that originated in a report on June 9th, 2006, prepared by the New York State Education Department, NSED. Oh, remember, New York just wants to punish poor Dr. Israel. If they just would have went on a guided tour, we could have explained. You can't explain your insanity, doctor. Not to any rational human being. It does not make sense. Not medically, not even through those who use ABA logic. Do what you do make any coherent sense? Okay? It doesn't make sense. New York State does not gain anything for going after you. There's no money. There's no politics. There's no nothing. So why would they go out of their way to do an investigation? As someone who has worked for the state, allow me to elaborate for you, doctor, again, something that I've said previously. When there is enough reports of shadies going on for a program or a group home or a day program or a school, when there becomes, in state terminology, reason for concern, a committee, usually involving caseworkers, social workers, doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, all of us with our own expertise as a committee come together and review these reports. And if everybody comes to the same conclusion, it becomes determined that an unannounced series of visits is something that needs to happen. When we do these visits, doctor, you're not in charge. We are. That means we are coming there due to the shady reports that we have seen to determine what's actually going on. Which means we're going to go to the parts that you don't want us to see. We are going to note the things that you do not want us to know. We are going to write down the things that are going on that you don't want the world to know. Because that is our job. We're there to get to the truth. Which means we're not there for your guided tour. We're not there for your explanations. We're not there for your propaganda. We're there to get to the truth. Okay? We have nothing to gain from it. I got no money, no promotions, no political person singing my accolades for going on these visits. We are there for the safety of the students or the consumers, whatever the case may be. We are there for them, their safety and their peace of mind, and for the peace of mind of their relatives to whom we are responsible. Okay? Do you comprehend that, doctor? Do you understand? We're not there to sing your praises. We're not there for your guided tour. We're not there to regurgitate your talking points. Your ass is grass and we're the damn mower. You understand? You are not the authority. So when we go in there, when we do these investigations, when we see you using restraints for no adequately explained reason, when we see reports of kids running, and we want to know why, we don't want to know what you have in your paperwork, we don't want your lies. See where I'm going with this here? Where MDRI got this was the New York report. The New York report was compiled by a group that was put together from the state and from the school district, as well as that local medical community. People who were going there because there was reason for concern. What we put in those reports is not there to bolster you in the public eye or to regurgitate your bullshit. We are there to see what's really going on. We have nothing to gain from it. Literally, folks, nothing. Nothing whatsoever. We are not targeting poor, innocent Dr. Matthew Israel. We do not do these unannounced visits if there has not been enough reports to show that there is reason for concern. Most of us are individuals that cover large areas of the population in our states. Thousands of consumers of various age groups. We do not set aside our time like that unless it has been determined that it is absolutely necessary for us to do so. Which means when the New York Special Education Department puts out a report like this, I'm going to believe it. Because I've been a part of it. And you don't want to know the laws that can be used to crucify us if we were found to falsify a single fact. Okay? You do these things, doctor. You cannot sit there and lie when there are receipts. We're going to close out for this one. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit those comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you in the next vid.